European sun. You spit on those on the 21.
The word hallucination is defined as an apparent perception as by sight or hearing for which there is no real or external cause.
But now your blue cards are gone, you better sit so long. Bye, bye, bye.
I don't usually see something that's an actual real thing that I could describe as, you know. Sometimes, one time I saw a lot of faces. Just all these faces appeared in front of me. And they were children's faces and oriental faces and old faces and just all kinds of different faces in front of me. And one time I looked in the mirror and I saw just my face just went through all these changes of different emotions and ages, and you know, I could feel all of the things that I saw.
You made your wallpapers green. You want to make love to the sea. Your European sun is gone. You better sit so long. Your clouds keep you goodbye.
From the very beginnings of unrecorded time, men have reached for substances in the world around them that would alter, extend, and materially change their perception of reality.
I could see all around me, no matter which way I was facing. It was just real frightening. I went into this survival land, and I was afraid everyone was going to go there, and that things were never going to be the same, and that everyone was going to become real vicious and hateful, and just climb on top of each other to get what they wanted. And I never thought the world was going to be any different than that.
Everything turns into vibrations. It's like everything is falling apart. My eyes are an electronic microscope, and I can see all the atoms in everything. Everything pulsates. I took the acid around 2 in the morning and started reading this book. And there are sections in it that give instructions to a person who is dead. And they tell him to do certain things and hang on to certain things and let go of other certain things, allowing the experience to happen to you naturally. And in the course of that, I got very confused as to whether I was alive or whether I was dead. I mean, it was really very, very far out to just not know whether I was alive or dead. And so if I'm dead, what is happening? What's been happening with my life if I've been dead all this time? You know, what is the truth behind all of this?
Do they extend the range of the human mind, or do they simply offer an easy escape from the demands of this world and time?
I get up and make love and play the guitar and eat, go down to the beach and go swimming, and occasionally write some things when I feel like writing, and think about how I'm going to get a little more money to not starve to death. And
it gets you out of that whole intellectual academic framework that you've been taught to be in all of the years that you've gone to school.
Not only emotionally, but socially.
I believe that one of the biggest examples of separation syndrome in our lives is how we have such a profound disposability consciousness in this culture. And I use the example of when you say you're going to throw something away, where's away? There's no such thing. And where away actually is social justice issues and environmental justice issues. Every plastic bag, plastic cup, plastic to-go container, that is the petroleum complex in Africa, Ecuador, Colombia, Alaska, you name it. Every paper bag, paper plate, paper napkin, that is a forest. Every thing that is called waste or disposable is the ways in which we are saying that it is acceptable to throw our planet and its people away. When I started thinking about disposability consciousness, I went and asked a lot of Native people that I know if in their original language if they had any words for waste, disposable, or trash. And I have yet to find in any traditional language words for waste, disposable, or trash. Because all traditional knowledge knows that there's no such thing. I saw a great sign once that said it's only called waste if you're not using it properly. And we have a wasteful consciousness, we have a disposability consciousness. We've lost our connection to the sacred. And for me, disposables are one of the huge magnifiers of how we've lost our connection to the sacred.
Using beauty instead of fear to inspire people to act is a very exciting path to creating change. It's an opportunity to draw people in, and by drawing people in, at the same time, providing ways or opportunities or resources for them to turn that inspiration into action. And when, especially through our exhibits, for example, we will have a couple different environmental topics, and the artists present their viewpoint about that. And then we also provide facts and resources of, okay, if this artwork draws you in, makes you pay attention to the topic, then what can you do about it? And whether that's, work with local NGOs in your area, whether that's, personally take some steps that change your lifestyle to better the environment and so forth. That is, what we are trying to promote is this path to change.
For me, what I talk to young people about now is I always ask them, how many of you have been told you're the leaders of tomorrow? And they always raise their hands. Every kid's been told, you're the leader of tomorrow. So you go to school, get good grades, you can go to college, get good grades, so you can get a job and get good money, so you can be a good consumer, have a house, have a mortgage, and die. Whoa, that's inspiring. And so I tell them, I say, I wish we lived in a simple world where you could be the leaders of tomorrow and that for today you could just play and experience life. But we live in a world that is calling you to be the leaders of today. The leaders of today. I also feel that we need to be really mindful on the intergenerational connections as well, because our elders need that youthful vitality to infuse in the world. And we need the wisdom and the roots that our elders have to offer us. We live in a society of attention deficit disorder and collective amnesia. That's our society. And so our elder wisdom offers us the response to that amnesia and that attention deficit disorder. It roots us back into where we've come from and what lessons we can learn so that we can then co-create together between the generations. And I feel that's absolutely vital in helping restore our global community.
They essentially are the voice of the natural world right now in terms of the exhibits we produce. And they have this amazing opportunity to submerge themselves in an environment and through their own sources of inspiration around them, create something visual that could be anything from painting, photography, multimedia, conceptual installations. And by sharing that work of art with the public, they open a whole new way of looking at things. Artists essentially provide new ways to generate dialogue about sometimes harsh, and what could be sometimes harsh or dry topics, and I think they also can help create change, and that's the most important thing. You know, our goal is to use this inspiration-based approach to inspire change, and many times it's a fear-based approach that people are being presented with, such as, you know, Al Gore's presentation on climate change is essentially before and after, and it worked. It was effective because it was kind of the shock factor of, oh my gosh, global warming is real, it's happening, what are we supposed to do? And I think through the arts, it's a more exciting, gradual approach to explore what's happening around us.
Well, what can scare you is that all structure can break down. Everything can become one, and that's sort of scary. Another thing that can happen is when you're really far out, things just can disappear.
I think a lot of kids say that at first, and then after they're through talking to Dr. Fisher and I, they change their mind. Because we certainly think rebellion is a very healthy thing, and we like rebellion. And we think great changes in society come out of rebellion. And we think that we adults have kind of screwed things up. We haven't done a very good job in the adult world. With the bomb hanging over us in Vietnam, with our crazy ideas about censorship, our crazy sexual attitudes, our abortion laws, we haven't done a very good job. However, I do think that